live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. It is great to be with you for another night here. We've got a lot to get to in a short amount of time. Thursday, November 9th. We have a couple things to get to, but we have some breaking news we're following with two separate folks out of two separate scenes. I want to get to it here if we can. First, Amanda Gilbert is at the VA hospital in Salt Lake City, which had an evacuation after a bomb threat. Amanda Gilbert is live at the scene here. If we have Amanda, I think we do. There we go. Amanda, what do we know so far? I know you've been out there for a while.
I actually just spoke with the VA spokesman, and he just seconds ago told me the all clear has been given. Again, all clear has been given. We are kind of near Foothill Drive. This is the area where media has been asked to stand, but we'll show you video from the scene if we can here. Here's what we know. The VA says around 1:30 today, the emergency department got a bomb threat call, so they evacuated the medical center and some surrounding buildings just to be safe. We know VA police and some other agencies got involved. They did a sweep room to room just to make sure everyone was okay. The buildings were evacuated. And at last check, again, just seconds ago, we've been told the all clear has been given. Everyone is safe. So good news there, but definitely was a scary situation, the spokesman was saying earlier today, just for patients and employees. They were asked to leave. Back to you, Brian.
Amanda Gilbert at the VA hospital in Salt Lake City. Thank you. Let's get to our other breaking news, this time in Sandy. Police say 2 people are in the hospital after a suspect in a stolen vehicle crashed into a motorcyclist. After the suspect crashed there with that motorcyclist, the suspect took off. Eventually, police and perhaps the suspect were forced to exchange fire, trying to get some clarification on that. Brian Malahi live in Sandy tonight. Brian, what are police sharing with you so far? And I guess my details are sketchy. Was there an exchange of gunfire, or was it purely one-sided, as we know?
It appears to be one-sided. It appears to be just the police firing. These are police officers here on the south end, right next to the freeway, who are basically directing traffic away from where the officer shooting happened. Now, we understand that there was a chase. That there was a stolen car, suspect in a stolen car hits this motorcyclist, right? The motorcyclist is injured, taken to the hospital. Then that driver of the stolen car proceeds a little further south, and that's where police cornered him, apparently. One officer fired shots. I talked to a witness who says she heard 2 gunshots. 2 gunshots, and then she was inside a building nearby, and she locked the doors. And then later, about 10 minutes later, came outside, saw about 40 police cars on the street. In addition, officers had were standing around the driver of that car, who was also injured and taken to a hospital. Your information is a little limited. Mine is a little limited too, because police aren't saying, well, did the suspect have a gun? Did the suspect fire at officers? Did the suspect, what precipitated the shooting exactly? We don't know that. And so that is part of what is still fluid out here, and investigators are going to be on the scene for some time tonight. It's a strange situation. They have not released names. They have not released conditions. And we don't know a lot about what went on here, but we do know that 2 men, the motorcycle rider and the driver of that car, whether he was injured in the crash or injured by the shooting, both of them in the hospital tonight.
Brian Malahi live in Sandy for us. Brian, with the preliminary information, and of course, as we find out more, there is a good place to look for that information. If you're not watching us on TV, you should always get the 2 News mobile app, where you can see this breaking news push alert. This article right now that we've written up with the information we do have is findable on the app. It's also easily found at KUTV.com. So following a couple situations in terms of breaking news, you can find all of that on our website. Hey, breaking news.
We have an update.
Solitude. They're going to spin a lift
tomorrow
for pass holders.
That's right. And it is the Bunny Hill. It's only 1 run.
Perfect place for me.
But good place for Brian. No, good place for Meredith.
Yeah, you're right.
Take the baby.
Yeah,
go
learn.
up the lift.
It's cool.
Great spot to learn. That's where my wife learned how to ski. She's still learning, but that's what
many
one
years
of our first
many
ones.
years later.
It takes
Sorry,
a while.
Ashton.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of snow. They're making some snow. They're going to open up one lift, so it'll be fun. It'll be a party, I'm sure, through the weekend. I'm sure more lifts and more runs will open next week.
Donuts and DJs next Friday, right?
Okay.
I think it's next Friday at Solitude, where they really get the party on there.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then we have, of course, Park City, Alta, and Bryan Head for next Friday.
Okay.
And then our other resorts will slowly begin to open. Snow Basin, November 24th. Snowbird, November 30th. Deer Valley, December 2nd. And of course, Brighton will be waiting.
This was surprising. I know there's kind of that always that eager jump of who's going to get there first. And when I moved here, by the way, a few years ago, it was always Brighton.
It has always been Brighton.
And now Bryan Head's in the mix in southern Utah last year. And Solitude's jumping the gun a little bit, getting things going here. So this is exciting.
Yeah, we'll see if Brighton opens up maybe one lift tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised.
Wouldn't be surprised at all.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get right to it. If you are going to be headed up to Solitude for a little bit of skiing, here's what you can expect. It will be quiet. Now, a few clouds will be rolling in, especially in the mountains. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy for your Friday. Temperatures in the upper 30s, so a little cool out there. Dress in layers, but we'll have more sunshine over the weekend. 39 on Saturday and Sunday, pretty mild. 46 degrees up in the mountains, so we're going to be melting a little bit of that snow, and it's going to be a little warm to make snow, but there might be a chance during the overnight hours as we do cool off overnight. Now, we do have a little bit of rain and snow over the Pacific Northwest. This storm system, though, is going to be falling apart, and the brunt of the storm is going to stay well north of Utah, but you'll see the cloud cover. It's already pushing into Nevada. This is what arrives by tomorrow morning. So right now we're nice and clear, so it's going to get cold for tonight, and then the cloud cover begins to roll in as we head into your Friday morning commute. Thickest in northern Utah, but still some peaks of sunshine, especially in central and southern Utah, but you'll see no rain or snow falling from these clouds. They'll kind of be racing on by, and then as we head into the weekend, notice ridge of high pressure will begin to slide in. So we'll still see some high clouds on Saturday. Winds are still out of the north, but those winds change direction on Sunday, more out of the south because of this high drifting towards the east, and that's going to help boost those temperatures. By the end of the weekend and into early next week will be well above average. Now on Saturday, it's Veterans Day, of course, and those national parks will be free. Arches, Canyonlands, and Capitol Reef. Temperatures in the 50s on Saturday. Bryce Canyon in the upper 40s. So just keep in mind if you're hiking in the morning, it's still cold but beautiful with all the sunshine in the afternoon. And Zion will be nice and mild with temperatures well into the 60s. Okay, long-range outlook, we're watching something coming our way, but I'm going to be honest, those computer models have been flip-flopping. So the overall setup, though, is for that high to drift away from Utah, and something is going to be dropping to the south. How far it drops to the south, how far west it is from Utah is still up in the air. I think early next week will be nice and mild, and then eventually a little bit of moisture will be spreading in by the end of next week. But there's a chance it could be cold, it could be wet, or it could stay mild and not as much rain. So just stay tuned to the forecast. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's still about a week out or maybe longer. Now, St. George, we're at 60 tomorrow, 63 on Veterans Day. Sunday, though, we're getting close to 70 degrees, and we're going to hover near 70 early next week, and we've had a chance for showers on Thursday, but again, right now that storm's a little bit up in the air. Tonight, 30 in Salt Lake. We go to 52 tomorrow. More sunshine over the weekend, 55 on Saturday, and close to 60 degrees on Sunday. Yard work. There's a lot of leaves on the ground. I think this weekend is going to be it for it. Temperatures even warmer, though, next week, so if you have one of those days off, that'd be a great day to get some yard work done. We'll be in the 60s Monday through Wednesday, and then again maybe something coming our way.
I've been watching how you've been kind of working the word choice into what's coming. You put it on social, you're like, there might be something happening, and I saw someone respond, be like, what is it?
What are the
Is
details?
it rain? Is it snow? And you're like, listen, when I know, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
I appreciate
will always
that.
let you know. If I am confident on a storm, I'm going to let you know if it's going to rain or snow. But right now, the computer models, I mean, they're literally all over the place.
In terms of, percentage
Yes.
of just how good you are when you're on,
Oh, thank you.
on point.
Thank you.
It's pretty high.
There is something, though, coming our way.
Okay, there we go. Something. You heard it here first. More than 7 days out.
Yep.
Thank you, Chase. Remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about changes in your neighborhood. As Chase mentioned, there will be changes, so keep it locked on the weather app to know about what's coming our way. It's got your forecast, your live radar right at the palm of your hand on your phone, and the app, of course, we keep it free to download. Family of a man shot to death in a West Bountiful parking lot says the legal system did not do enough to protect him. The victim's brother believes the city of West Jordan didn't follow through on previous domestic violence calls about the gunman. We're also hearing why the suspect was not charged. by the Salt Lake County DA's office for brandishing a gun last year, so showing it off. Paul Nelson live where the shooting happened with more. Paul, what does the victim's brother have to say about all of this?
Well, this was posted onto a story from KUTV. He posted a comment on our reporting that actually talked about the suspect, Jake Jackson's criminal history. And that described how in 2020 he was actually facing misdemeanor charges of assault and also intoxication. And not only that, but in November of last year, he reportedly got in a very big fight with his brother-in-law. And that's where the claims of possibly showing a gun happened. Now, in 2020, these did not rise to the level of felony charges. So it's just misdemeanor, and he did take a plea in abeyance. So prosecutors say he was prosecuted for that. However, we spoke to Sim Gill, the Salt Lake County DA, about why he did not decide to press any charges about this altercation that happened in November. And he says that their office was specifically asked to look into possible brandishing charges of a gun, and all the evidence reportedly showed that the brandishing didn't actually happen, and they could not support that charge. So that's why the prosecution was declined in that case. But the brother is basically saying, he posted on this our story that he believes that the city of West Jordan, they didn't pull the trigger, but they basically allowed it so that the suspect, Jake Jackson, had the gun in his hand at that time.
We've been covering this story, obviously, for the last few days. There's a lot of nuances and new information that came out. Yesterday, we learned 17 shots were fired from Jackson to the victim, apparently all shot in the back. Paul, anything else we're seeing in terms of court documentation? Do we know when an initial hearing will be? Anything on that front so we can keep on top of this here?
Those details have not been actually given to us. The main thing that is happening right now is that people are still trying to kind of dissect all of the criminal history of the past and to see if there was anything that people could have done to maybe prevent this shooting from happening. Now, of course, the brother and his family, they say that they declined to do an on-camera interview with us, saying for right now they might be too upset to actually do an interview, but they are still trying to get his memorial planned as fast as they can, and this is just a very hard time for them all around.
Can't begin to imagine what that family's going through. Paul, thank you for joining us on 2 News Live, as always. And a frequent reminder here on 2 News, a lot of the things that we talk about weekly have to do with domestic violence, unfortunately. So if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, there are resources available. I can tell you, somebody who combs the court docs every day, there is something new every day in this state that has to do with domestic violence. So this is very important. You can find the national hotline there. Of course, there is the statewide support available 24/7, 1-800-897-LINK. That's 1-800-897-5465. Call the number if you need it. If not, if it's more immediate, call 911. We've shown you this video from a Juab County incident in 2021. This is the suspect, James Klein, here, where this man stole a sheriff's vehicle. He also got access to the rifle inside. He used it to start shooting at responding troopers and innocent people that were driving through the area. I spoke with a former member of law enforcement about what happened during the traffic stop that led to a real dangerous chain of events. It all stems from this traffic stop on I-15 where Klein was put into a patrol car without restraint in the front seat. From there, he takes off with the police vehicle.
Stay there. Hey, he's taking your car.
If he were handcuffed, obviously the way it panned out, it wouldn't have happened. But you got to make sure you can handcuff someone legally.
This 2021 dash cam video shows James Klein being brought to the front seat of a Juab County sheriff's vehicle. He was not handcuffed and was left alone in the car before he stole it and accessed the rifle.
I had a rifle in my patrol car. You have a computer with access to a bunch of information. There's just stuff you don't want to miss again. You don't really know that person.
Matt Evans, who worked in law enforcement for 20 years, 6 of which involved traffic stops. We showed him some of the video of Klein's traffic stop, including him being put in the front seat without restraint.
I've never heard of something like that. And generally, if you're investigating a person, you just wouldn't do that. I would put him in the back seat where it's safe and say, hey, we're just going to hang you here. And you could leave the door open because, again, there might be weighing some sort of Miranda issue in custody versus out of custody, and that may have gone into this whole thing, who knows, but that's just not the spot to put somebody.
He is in a police vehicle.
Still that suspect's decisions that he kept making, right? And I know that we as a society, we want to focus on both things. Could it have been prevented? Yes. And should it have been? Yes. And I guarantee there's nothing I bet there's more in policy that says don't do things like that than there is that says, hey, be nice to people and just let them have access to everything.
Hey, he's taking your car. Hold.
Evans also noted how Klein was able to gain access to the rifle inside the car. And if you missed any of our prior reporting, or if you'd like to watch the 15-minute long body camera from one of the troopers who responded, it is captivating. You see it here on your screen. You can find it on our YouTube channel. You can also find 3 previous stories that we did on this at KUTV.com. Part 4, again, if you just missed it here, if you'd like to watch it again, please join us coming up in 15 minutes on 2 News at 6 o'clock. Thanks for watching us here on 2 News Live. Thank you to Amanda Gilbert, Brian Malahy, Paul Nelson, of course, Chase Thomason for being here. And thank you for watching, whether you're on the tablet, whether you're on the go, whether you're watching this in replay form. We appreciate you. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We are back tomorrow, Friday. See ya.